smile, black lipstick, sensual politics. When you are young, they assume you know nothing.
From a 13-year-old singing in a mall to a multi-billion-dollar global superstar, Taylor Swift's rise to phenomenon status is unprecedented, and some say Swift's savvy decisions made her a business icon, too. We're talking to the author of a new book who compares her to the likes of Steve Jobs and Richard Branson and says there's a lot we can learn from Taylor Swift.
Kevin Evers is a senior editor at Harvard Business Review, and his book is There's Nothing Like This, The Strategic Genius of Taylor Swift, and he joins us now. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me. Good morning. It's great to be here.
You know, we've seen a lot of child stars that have evolved to become adult stars. What makes Taylor Swift unique?
If we look back at her early career, she was trying to seize an opportunity that other people were ignoring. Child stars are not a thing that country music really does. But she was very persistent. She wanted to write her own songs, and she wanted to write those songs for an audience of her peers, teenage girls. Though people in country music did not think that market existed. But since Taylor persisted, she ended up being a category of one. There was no other Taylor Swift that she was competing with. And that's a big reason for her early success. And I don't think we'd be here today talking about Taylor Swift if she wasn't so headstrong in that vision early on.
Yeah, but, you know, so it wasn't like it was intentional and she had this market strategy. It sounds like she just did what she was passionate about.
Yeah, I mean, you see this all throughout Taylor's career. Is she very calculated at times? Yes. But she also makes decisions that are very innate. She has great instincts. She has great entrepreneurial instincts. So yes, at the time, I don't think she was reading Harvard Business Review to figure out what market she should tap into, but the outcomes speak for themselves.
Well, there's been some times when things were down for her, maybe there was a downturn in her music, or there was some, you know, the whole thing happened with Kanye West, and all things pivoted in her career where she had to make some changes. It sounds like when things were down, she just decided to create more music and change the narrative. Is that fair?
That's exactly right. She never stops creating music. She's gone through some major controversies, as you mentioned, multiple controversies with Kanye West, and she doesn't complain. She ends up taking those controversies and making great music as a result, and she embeds those controversies into her songs.
And this seems to be a business principle that you address called the job to be done, and maybe you can explain that, but it sounds like the songs serve more than just good music for teen girls to listen to. There's something more going on there.
Exactly. This is what great brands do. Nike does this, Apple does this. Taylor understands that her fans want much more than her songs, right? They want intimacy, they want connection, and they want vulnerability. And the great thing about Taylor is she knows that she creates songs that meet those expectations, but then she also builds great experiences both online and at her concerts that meet those demands as well.
How has she evolved, though, from being, you know, teen girls lover? You have adults lover. She's crossing over. I mean, the concerts, the size of these concerts are unbelievable.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. But one reason why I think the Eras Tour was so successful is that Taylor has always been fan obsessed. She understands that superstars aren't self-made. It's a fan-generated phenomenon, and she always goes above and beyond for her fans. The Eras Tour was a perfect example. She could have played 2.5 hours if she wanted to, 2 hours of a greatest hits show. Her fans would have loved it, but instead she plays 3.5 hours. Her set list spans 40 songs. She's always giving fans more than they expect, and she's always exceeding their wildest expectations. And I think that's a big reason why her fans stick around for so long and why so many fans jump on the bandwagon.
And is this maybe something new to the 21st century where she is sort of dropping Easter eggs? Or I only know this because of my daughter, so I don't fully understand it, but maybe that plays to the intimacy and taking advantage of technology.
For sure. I mean, she's our first extremely online superstar. She started way back in 2006 with MySpace. She's done it with Tumblr and Instagram and now TikTok with the hints and clues that you're talking about. Taylor has built a fan base that looks into everything that Taylor does. Whatever Taylor wears, whatever she says, whatever she posts online is a source of potential intrigue. Taylor could be dropping hints about what album's coming next or what she's going to do next. And this creates huge engagement online. During the height of the Eras Tour, each day, between 200 to 300 million videos were viewed of Taylor Swift.
Unreal.
That's a staggering number.
And talk about this re-recording of her music to regain ownership. Did that start a trend that other artists are doing now?
I'm not seeing that other artists are doing. I'm not so sure that other artists could really pull it off the way Taylor has. Because it's such a bold decision. And if you think about it, it's almost a crazy idea to tell your fans not to listen to the older recordings, those recordings that they have such close relationships with. But since Taylor has built such close relationships with her fans went along with it.
Yeah. Some of these things that you've been talking about may be different than anything that Elvis or the Beatles had to do, or even Madonna, but just pound for pound, music to music, will she be included in that conversation in the big picture of music history?
I'd put her in that conversation right now. She belongs in the pantheon of music legends, and that includes Elvis, the Beatles, Madonna, and Michael Jackson. She's that good.
Wow. Well, the book is There's Nothing Like This, The Strategic Genius of Taylor Swift. You can follow Kevin on Instagram and on X. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.